This past Sunday, the church celebrated the World Day of Prayer for Vocations, also known as Good Shepherd Sunday. In the Gospel, Jesus tells us that the sheep hear his voice and they know him. I wonder, during this time of the pandemic, when we're all at home and shelter in place, have we taken time to listen to the voice of the Good Shepherd in the silence of our hearts? All too often, and I know from my own experience, we have many different voices that seek to crowd out the voice of the Good Shepherd. We're distracted by text messages, by emails, by social media, all these voices that seek to confuse us and distract us from the voice of the Good Shepherd. Here at our beautiful Church of St. Catherine of Siena, we're open each day from 10 to 5 p.m. Have we taken time to make a visit to the church, to sit in silence before Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, and to listen to his voice in the silence of our hearts? There's a challenge for each of us during these days. You know, all too often we think that by listening to the voice of the Good Shepherd, by saying yes to his voice, saying yes to Jesus, that somehow it will take away everything that makes life beautiful and great. It will take away our freedom somehow. But we know that the exact opposite is true, that Jesus takes away nothing, but he gives us everything. But how do we know this? Well, we have two ways of knowing this concretely. First, we have the example of the lives of the saints. One great example is just a visit here to St. Catherine's. We can look at the beautiful stained glass windows of the life of Catherine, of how saying yes to Jesus here as a young schoolgirl in Siena, all the way to later in her life when she becomes a counselor of the Pope himself, the great adventure of saying yes to the voice of the Good Shepherd. And we know from the concrete example of our own lives, I know from my life, saying yes to Jesus, yes to his voice to join the seminary, to study for the priesthood, has been an incredible adventure, something I could never have imagined. And along the way, I've also heard the voice of the sheep and the different pastoral assignments that the seminary has given to us, the voice of the poor in Rome, throughout the world, visiting the elderly and the sick in nursing homes. All of these daily experiences of our lives, not only do we listen to Jesus in prayer, but also in these concrete moments of our life where we know that the voice of the Good Shepherd is not something that takes away our freedom, but something that gives us life to the full. So it is my prayer for you these days that you come visit our church and to listen to the voice of the Good Shepherd in the silence of your hearts, and to pray for vocations. And if you yourself are discerning a call to the priesthood, do not be afraid, but open wide the doors of your heart to Christ.